Half of your teams may have got knocked out of Europe tonight, but do not fear, the groups are here. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It is the European review show where the Scottish teams representing the nation drastically fell tonight. We said goodbye to Hibs, we said goodbye to Hearts. I think Rangers said goodbye to their dignity on Wednesday night, and Aberdeen probably said goodbye to, I don't know what they said goodbye to. But my point remains, Aberdeen's result was just like the other threes, absolutely shite. But we will start off with chronological order, I guess. I mean, Rangers PSV was the first game to happen at the 4, so we will start there, get you some PTSD here. It was a bad night in Eindhoven for Rangers. Although, I mean, if you ask Gordon DL, he thought PSV were in Amsterdam, so what does he know?
He doesn't know anything, but all I know is...
I think Rangers would have had a better time if they went to Amsterdam.
I think Rangers were smoking some stuff for Amsterdam in this game, because I don't know what was going on. From everything to do with the club, man. What is going on in this match?
I thought Rangers started the game alright. I thought the first 10 minutes it was looking pretty positive, but the longer the game went, I seen the signs. I was beginning to get worried. Especially because I had 30 quid on Rangers, and I'm thinking, you know what? My £30 not looking too safe here.
Yeah, but let's call a spade, right? See, apart from the forward areas with Dessers and Matondo, right? Maybe you could argue, right? Danilo should be in there. Lammer should be starting here. Throw Seema in there, right? But see that back four and goalie? That's as strong as it'll get. See that midfield with Cantwell, Raskin, and Cifuentes, and who was the other guy in? Lundstrom. Alright, maybe some people argue Lundstrom shouldn't be starting, and I think it depends on the sort of game, whether you'd rather Jack in or, you'd rather another front forward guy in.
Are you making a point here?
Yeah, I am making a point.
Right.
Point is, this is as strong as the Rangers team can realistically get.
I thought you were going to make an excuse, so you're not making an excuse.
No, I'm not making an excuse. My point is, what is the excuse for the players in Beale? Because there's no real injuries to the team, right? So what the fuck is this?
Is it not just a case of they were against a better side and they lost?
No, because like I said, PSV were better on the night. I'm not denying that, but when every goal's fucking avoidable, I'm not going to go into a 15-minute rant again. But it was a disgrace from top to bottom. The arse went. Goals were take it away.
So was it just 5 moments of lapse in concentration then?
No, it was more than 5 because Butland kept them in it. Apart from Butland, everyone was shit.
Well, what would you have changed?
What would I change?
Do you think it should have been a personnel change, or do you just think the team it was a bad night at the office?
Well, I think at half time you're lucky to be 1-0 down.
Should Beale have made changes?
Happened at half time, yeah. Look when he brought Lammers on.
What would you
change the game?
What would you have changed? At half time.
See this sono marking, man marking. That's what I changed. The half time is. See that from set pieces. That is Rangers are conceding a goal from set piece every game. It literally seems like that.
I don't think Golds and Suter were that bad, to be fair.
No, but Suter left his man about 10 times, and Goldson fucking scored an own goal.
That's an accident.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think it was an accident, man.
Well, that's not my point. I mean, it was unlucky, it didn't mean, it could have happened to anybody. My point is, I mean, Messi could have scored that own goal. Yeah,
but De Jong's goal, if you look at it, there is about 6 Rangers players in the middle of the 6-yard box, not marking any PSV guy. Why is that? Hit me with the big said word.
Sono marking?
Sono marking.
Is that not Michael Beale's thing, though?
No, it is. Well, no, yeah, and it needs to be changed.
Does it work?
Gio was doing it, and he was getting slaughtered.
Does it work domestically? I don't think so, because, I mean, the Rangers not have a record for conceding a shitload of set pieces. Was there not a period in Michael Beale's run where Rangers conceded the opening goal in 7 league games?
Yo, that's the whole gimmick with Rangers. It is set piece city against them. See if you look at the teams in the league, right, and Morton, not most times it will be they'll score for set pieces because they can't really rip you open.
All right, okay, but if that is the case, and if it's that simple, if Rangers go for sono marking to man marking, they're going to start not conceding and start beating teams like PSV. Why doesn't Michael Beale do it?
I don't know.
Or does he think long term there's benefits to sono marking? Does he believe if you get sono marking right, then it's more productive or better than man marking? Is that?
No, but no, yeah, I think man marking's way better, right? But the question is, look at the first 2 goals. Let me just finish, right? The first 2 goals for PSV, technically they should be man marking because there's no reason to do a Son. Sonal's more just to do with set pieces. Well, with the first 2 goals, people are just sleeping, not marking anybody.
Can you not argue though Sonal marking is a little bit flawed because if your opponents know that you're Sonal marking, they're going to know that they're not being man-marked. And therefore they've got a bit more freedom.
Time for a crazy analogy, right? It's like, if you're at war with a country, right, and these soldiers that you're against are known to be in this zone, and you want to put an airstrike in that zone, you're not going to fucking put an airstrike in that zone if they're not there.
Yeah, is Sonal marking kind of not giving away your defensive, glands?
Yeah. No, it is. Like, George Bush wanted to invade Iraq, but if the Iraqis moved all their weapons of mass destruction into
certain zones, then I'm sure he would have.
It's just how it goes. At the end of the day.
Well, what successful teams use Sonal marking?
Well, you tell me. Rangers aren't very successful.
Do Arsenal not use Sonal marking?
I don't know.
Maybe Sonal marking is one of those things that it's hard to accomplish.
But what's the point?
But when you do it right, it's more effective than man-mark. For example, I think manual passing on FIFA, right? Now I know I shouldn't really compare this to FIFA, but I would say that on average, it's harder to get to grasp to. It's obviously more difficult to learn. More passes will go AWOL. You will create at the beginning. You'll lose more games and you'll create less opportunities. You won't be able to play as good. But I think with manual passing on FIFA, if you can get it down 100%, if you can master it, then it's more effective than assisted passing because you're actually deciding where the ball's going to go. And maybe it's something similar to Sonal marking. Maybe Sonal marking is more costly if you get it wrong. Maybe it's harder to do than man marking, but maybe Michael Beale thinks that if you can master Sonal marking, then it is more effective at defending than man marking. Or else, why would he do it?
The only aspect...
There must be some benefit to Sonal marking, or else he wouldn't do it.
The only thing I can see with the Sonal marking that would work is if you've got a guy that is just on the back post waiting to clear it.
See,
that's the only zone for me that makes sense.
I personally don't get Sonal marking. I agree with you. I think the only zones I would consider is someone on the post, and that's it. Everyone else is man marked.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you mark a zone if there's no opposition player in it?
Yeah. And that's what happens time and time again.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe we'll get Michael Beale on here and he can explain himself.
I can't even do a Michael Beale in person. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's Gerard, but no, for me, you know what? Fair play to Glenn Duncan. He said that PSV and Rangers are close to final. You know what? I don't want to go as far as saying I've lost respect for McCoy's, but see the argument of the leagues, fuck that. Now
on Super Scoreboard, a caller phoned in and says that the combined amount of prize money for the Scottish system 4-tier league was around 30 million, I believe he says, whereas the Dutch league is around 170 million euro, right? That might be the case, but let's be honest, Celtic and Rangers, they don't make their money really through the league. The money that they get for winning the league, that's a small portion of their money. They make their money through sponsorships, they make their money through ticket sales, they make their money through rip-offs like Rangers TV. So Rangers, let's be real, Rangers and Celtic do have a lot of money, and you can't just say, well, the Dutch league, the Dutch footballing system generates, like, so let's say 120 million more than Scottish football, because Celtic and Rangers are powerhouses in Scottish football. So I would imagine that, I'm not saying Rangers make more than PSV, I don't think they're that far behind PSV.
No, I think it was the turnover for 2022-23, Rangers had made 6 million more.
Well, there you go. I don't think you can be using finances as an excuse. I just think PSV have recruited better. I think in Holland they give
PSV spent 3 million on Luc de Jong, 3 million euros.
No, but in PSV, like if you look at the league, anytime I watch the majority, the average age of the Dutch sides it's insane. It's like the very young teams and they give the youth a chance, whereas in Scotland you don't really get that.
No.
I mean, look at see the Dutch teams, like they will bring a lot of Dutch players through, like young Dutch players through to teams, and then they'll sell them on to bigger teams. You don't really get that in Scotland. Like, it's rare that Scottish players are actually getting a chance at Rangers and Celtic. They tend to import players from other leagues that, in my opinion, aren't that good. So I don't know. I think Scottish football's improving. I think we're getting to a stage where we should see more young Scottish players start, and the likes of, we've seen Lewis Ferguson, Josh Doidge leave the country. Maybe they're players that likes of Rangers should have been looking to sign. But anyway, we can talk about players, we can talk about Sonal Markin. I mean, none of that really is relevant at the moment right now. It was relevant last night, it's not relevant anymore. Rangers are out 5-1, 7-3 in aggregate. PSV deservedly won. There's no ifs or buts. I thought they were the better team at Ibrox, but there was no doubt that they were the better team in Eindhoven, so I have no complaints.
Absolutely no doubt, and you know what? If you concede 7 goals over 2 legs, you do not deserve anything. And you know what? Could have been more. Could have been more, and I've nothing else to say apart from I thought these defeats were behind Rangers.
What I will say is, I think they've made a good addition to the goalkeeping slot with Jack Butland. A lot of people wanted Robbie McCrory to get the number 1 position, but I think you can already see that bringing in Jack Butland has worked.
Yeah.
No offence to Robbie McCrory, but I just think Jack Butland at this point is a step above
Must
McCrory.
win for Beale Sunday, that's all I'm going to say.
It is. Let's move on to another shite team for Scotland. By the way, every team for Scotland is shite, so just in case anybody was wondering who I meant. And it is Hearts. They lost in Greece by 4-0. I'll be honest, a result that I did not see coming at all. I thought the first tie at Tynecastle was relatively close.
What I would say is, though, that the last 15 minutes of Tynecastle was pretty much how this played out. Hearts were done.
True, but I think that's because Hearts were chasing the game. I think there was some sort of belief that Hearts needed at least a draw to take to Greece, and that is why they were so hell-bent on getting an equaliser. And they left, at Tynecastle, the last 15 minutes, they left themselves open, and probably lucky that they didn't lose a third goal. But there's no complaints tonight. I mean, Pack were the better side. Just like PSV were the better side against Rangers, Pack were the better side.
They were the better
Hearts,
side, but again, we every goal was just cheap. The first one was actually offside, but they didn't give it for some reason, because he was interfering in play. The second one, Kyle Ross is just shite. The amount of time the guy got on the ball here, and he just flicks over his own head and it goes in. Sander Clark standing there. The third one, the guy mishits a shot off his own leg or something. I think it was his leg, or it might hit the ground. He's able to control it again and just pokes it past both of them. And I didn't get to see the fourth goal, but Hearts offered nothing, man. And I look at this Pack team and it's like, how have they beat Hearts 4-0?
Tyson looks a decent player.
No, I mean, Pack are an alright team, but they're the sort of team you're like, aye, Rangers Celtic beat them home and away.
I don't see much difference between Pack and Rosenborg, I really don't.
I'm not, no.
I think Hearts should have done better tonight than they did. I don't think the 3 managers is working.
No. Not one of the 3 are working. It's, need to get rid of them.
I still don't understand why Robbie Nielsen was sacked.
Well done, actually. Naismith's now the manager.
Well, that's true.
That's official.
So, Naismith should be the manager come weekend, come Sunday, because Hearts no longer need to have Frankie McAvoy
Motherwell, though,
as the manager, because Naismith has the licence. He has the qualifications to have a licence to manage them in the SPFL, but not in
Europe.
Europe.
The anonymous Hearts general manager laptop, though. There's actually 4 managers. No,
I want to know what they're watching on that laptop, because it certainly isn't nothing to do with tactics.
You've just 3 guys sitting on a fucking tripod. At the pitch? The pitch side?
True, but remember that guy used to do it, was it Gordon Strachan's son?
Gavin Strachan?
He used to do it at Celtic, and he got piss ripped at him, and it worked out for him.
I can accept 1 guy sitting on a laptop, but 3 guys sitting on a fucking screen.
Yeah, it's a bit
that big.
It's a bit awkward. Your team's getting pumped, and you're too busy watching this laptop, a wee tiny screen. The 3 of them are trying to focus on it.
I'm pretty sure it was the first game against Rosenborg. Maybe I get this, but they were showing. No, it was Rangers against Greenock Morton. The Rangers assistant had it on his laptop, the Morton penalty, and he was showing him how it's not a penalty on the laptop, and then they went up and gave it. I thought for some reason it was Hearts, just because I thought they were the only team that did wee screens, but apparently they're not. But this is a really bad. How this week couldn't have went any worse for the coefficient, man.
Yeah, I'm going to move on. Nothing positive to say here. PLK won, similar to PSV, much better side. Deserved to win over 2 legs. Didn't think there was much in it in the opening. A bit similar to Rangers, the home tie for the Scottish sides, I thought was okay and gave them a chance in the away leg, but nah, just too not good enough away from home.
No, it's not.
That's really what it is.
I get it. Home advantage is pretty decent, but the way I'm not, it's just like a collapse. It's almost like, well, we're away against a better team in Europe. It's alright if we get beat 4-5.
Speaking of poor away form, let's talk about Aberdeen, because they actually had good away form, but tonight, when they were at home, they couldn't get the job done. Now, what I will say is that they didn't deserve to lose by 3-1. They certainly did not. I thought they'd done more than enough to win this game tonight. However, you've got to take into consideration they were against, I would say, easily the worst side that the 4 Scottish teams were coming up against. Now, it's the Swedish champions, so let's put a little bit of respect on their name. But I do think Häcken are a step below Pack.
Below Pack?
Aye.
Would you say that?
I would,
I'd say they're similar level.
You say they're similar?
Aye.
So you're saying Aberdeen's good and Hearts are shite?
Well, they were a bit of a one-man team, Häcken. Like, it was literally just get the ball to Sadiq and hope he does something. But I think the way Aberdeen played, like, Aberdeen were cutting this team open, though. It wasn't like, you watch, when you watch, like, Hearts against Pack, it was like Hearts had to do something special in that. But here, I felt like every time Aberdeen went forward, it looked like they were going to score. You can't say that about many other teams in this round.
The first half, Aberdeen, I don't know how they didn't score. Häcken basically got 2 chances, scored both of them. 2-0 at the break. Very unfortunate for Aberdeen to be behind, but they were behind. They got a penalty in the second half, 56th minute. Miovski scored it. Now, originally this wasn't given. I thought it was a stonewaller. Despite Duke going down reasonably easy, I mean, he got caught. The Häcken player kicked out, caught him. It was a penalty. 2-1. Miovski scores. I don't know why this penalty wasn't given, though, because if you've seen this happen in Scotland, they would be saying 100% stonewall penalty, but for some reason they weren't sure. And then Miovski is through 1-on-1. I think it was, I want to say it was Clarkson that played him through. I'm not entirely sure, but it was a great ball through to Miovski. He's through 1-on-1 with the keeper. He's got Duke to the left of him. I mean, he could slot it to Duke, but at the same time, it's almost that easy of a finish that you don't really blame him for taking the shot on himself, but he somehow doesn't curl it round the keeper. He just puts it wide. Unforgivable miss there. Miovski has to score that. He has to make it 2-2.
That's the difference. So if that goes in, if that goes in,
Aberdeen win this tie, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they would have the momentum similar to just similar to the last tie. The first leg, when Aberdeen came for 2-0 down, and when it got to 2-2, they were the better side and looked to go on and win it. I think they would have played it the same here, but bad miss for Miovski. Aberdeen created other chances, but they couldn't really get anything clear cut. I think Häcken defended reasonably well. They got bodies in the way. When it got to like the getting the shot off, Häcken were getting bodies jumping in, and then Aberdeen concede the penalty about the 8th-minute mark, and again it wasn't given. It was given as a dive. We go to VAR, and we can just see that it's a clear penalty. I don't know what the confusion was. I mean, they're saying, he runs into him. They seem to like make up rules whenever they want. If this happens in the Scottish Premiership, everyone's like Stonewall. That's 100% a penalty. But tonight, they were saying these weren't penalties. I mean, it was. The guy slides in, doesn't get the ball, and he takes out the man. If that's not a penalty, I don't know what is. Layuni scored it. I don't know why Sadiq didn't score it, because it would have been the hat-trick for him. But whatever. Häcken made it 3-1. Aberdeen huffed and puffed. They tried to still get back into the game, even though it was unlikely they were going to get 2 goals in the last 10-15 minutes. But the game finished 3-1. It's a poor result considering who they were against, considering they got a draw away from home, considering they beat this team comfortably a few years ago. But I'm not going to fault the Aberdeen performance. You can say it's a bad result, but I don't think it was a bad performance. Couple of errors. The defending was poor, especially for the first goal. It was fucking shocking. But overall, I think Aberdeen certainly done enough to win the game. So I'm not going to sit here and say they were shite like Rangers and Hearts.
No, they were nowhere near. Easily the best performance, man, this week. Easily. Like, could have scored, 4 or 5 goals on a different day, but they didn't. And, yeah, a really disappointing result considering they came back from 2-0 down against Häcken away. I'm sitting there thinking at home, if the home advantage means that much, man, they should be winning this game for me.
I personally think home advantage is a load of shite. I'm not denying that you would rather have a home game than an away game, but at the end you're playing on a fucking pitch. At the end of the day, see this whole, we can beat them at home, but we've got no chance away. I don't buy into that.
Scottish football's not going to get an easier playoff round in the Europa League than this.
See, unless you've got a plastic pitch, that's the only time I really factor in. That's why I think Kilmarnock and Livingston are so strong at home, because they're used to playing on the plastic pitch. They play on that pitch 39 times.
And then when they play each other, it's a goddamn massacre.
You know, they're all at home, but I'm just not buying it from other teams that you can't win away from home just because you're playing on a different pitch in a different country. Whatever though, Aberdeen, unlucky to lose, but they did lose. Sucks for them, but they still got Europa Conference League football, so it's not the end of the world. And moving on to the last game, speaking of Europa Conference League football, it was Aston Villa 3, Hibernian 0, 8-0 on aggregate at Villa Park. I feel like out of the 4 ties, this is the only one that was never up for debate. The other 3 ties, I feel, were relatively close enough that you could have seen any of the teams winning, and it wouldn't have been a surprise. Like, I think Aberdeen could have beat Hacken, Hearts could have beat Pack, and Rangers could have beat PSV. I wouldn't have batted an eyelid. I wouldn't have thought that was beyond the realm of possibility, but no one really gave Hibs a chance here. And for good reason. I'm looking at all the battles of Britons in the past, and I just can't make an argument here for Hibs winning this game.
No.
I think Hibs are probably the weakest they've been in a long time. It's not a good Hibs side. And Aston Villa...
I mean, they're bottom of the league.
...are probably the best they've been in... I mean, had a decent spell with Martin O'Neill, like in the mid to late 2000s, but this is the best Aston Villa have been in my lifetime.
Decades.
In my lifetime, like I know they were good back in the day, like, but in my lifetime, this is the best Aston Villa team I've seen. We've had recent Battle of Britons. That Aberdeen Burnley, I felt Aberdeen could do something. That was a solid Derek McKinn's side against a Burnley team that was also solid but wasn't so great going forward. And Aberdeen kept Burnley level for 180 minutes. Man City, Celtic. I felt like Celtic could do something against that Man City side.
Liverpool Rangers, that was a bit of a disaster as well.
No, but actually, I felt Rangers had a chance.
At Anfield, no, it was, yeah.
I went into the games thinking Rangers could do something.
Well, I felt the Easter Road that Hibs could maybe get a draw.
Nah, I didn't really. I mean,
Lee Johnson's wee analogies didn't do it for you.
Nah, he can run like a tiger or whatever, man. He ain't
drive like a Formula 1 car.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully Hibs can get a Formula 1 car back to Edinburgh and it won't take them that long to get back. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot. You think they're back yet?
Of course they'll be back, man. It's not that long.
At Birmingham? To Edinburgh?
What time is it? What's 2:30?
I don't know. A game finished at what, about 10 o'clock?
No.
Time you get changed at the stadium?
No, they won't be.
Birmingham? Nah, I'd say...
For some reason, I thought this was way earlier.
I'd say Birmingham to Edinburgh would be about a 5.5, 6 hour drive.
I'd say so, yeah.
So
Fair play to all the Hibby fans. 2,000 went. I'm surprised fucking anybody went.
That's fucking quality, to be fair.
I know, knowing that could have been good night, but I mean, we couldn't have predicted at the start of this, like last week, that this is how this was going to turn out. Well, obviously this game, but the other fixtures, man, what a disaster.
Yeah.
26-7.
Oh, no, yeah.
Like, if you wanted to, right, even take Hibs and Phil, 19-7, it's not good enough.
No. Although Aston Villa scoreline does kind of massacre the overall, but yeah, no, not good enough. Embarrassing, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is. And, I mean, it's not like we're taking on the cream of the crop.
No, definitely not.
You know what I mean? It's not like if we swap here, if Hibs get PSV and Rangers get Aston Villa here, maybe we'll even it up, brother. I mean, that's a mammoth goal swing.
Would Rangers have beat Hacken?
I
think Sadiq might have caused problems. Like,
you know what? It would have been close.
I'm not sure Hearts would have beat
The
Hacken.
Rangers have had these. I mean, look at them in Europa League though. Like, especially under Gerrard. I mean, they were beating like Royal Antwerp like 5-4 and all. They just always concede pish fucking cheap goals from set pieces. Need to sort that out. Need real defenders.
What's your prediction? Obviously, we don't know what the draw is for tomorrow. Celtic, let's talk quickly about their Champions League group. Feyenoord, Lazio, Atletico Madrid. I mean, you could argue that they were lucky to avoid the real powerhouses, but for me, that's going to be a difficult group for Celtic to get further in.
Yeah, yeah.
If I would have rather Celtic got two great teams and then a weaker team for pot 3, but they probably got, I'd say they got maybe the second best team for pot 3. Obviously, AC Milan was the best.
It's not going to take a lot, though, to do better than last season. They all got to just win one game. I mean, I don't think winning at home against Lazio or like Feyenoord is out the question. Atletico, I would say probably they are much better than any of them. But then again, you know, Feyenoord won the league. Lazio finished second in Serie A. Atletico Madrid lost quite a lot of their players. Celtic right now will get beaten every game. I'll be honest, even though he never really delivered, if Ange Postecoglou was still there, I would actually fancy Celtic's chances of getting top 2 here. Yep. But Brendan...
whether rightly or wrongly, because I fancied their chances, I kind of actually thought they would finish ahead of Red Bull Leipzig last year. It didn't happen. But I don't know, that's Brendan Rodgers. I just don't see it happening. Celtic are playing so bad at the moment. Don't get me wrong, a few weeks to go for the Champions League group starts.
Like we can say, home game Celtic Park, but it's just the Rodgers style. I just can't see them.
Hold on, home game Celtic. Can they fucking beat St Johnson at home?
That's what I was going to say.
You know, like, what's that matter?
What's it matter, man? But yeah, that is where we're going to end it, guys. Hopefully the next European preview or review show, whatever, ends better than this.
Thoughts on Rangers and Aberdeen, though? I've got a funny feeling all three teams are going to get tanked in these group stages. Obviously, I don't know what Rangers and Aberdeen's draw is going to be like yet.
Aberdeen probably will. Celtic probably will. But I think Rangers will get... Even if they got the hardest group, I'd still expect them to go through. Do something.
What does the hardest group look like for Rangers? Considering a pot 2?
Like Brighton are pot 3, so you'd probably fire them in. Pot 2, you've got the likes of like Real Betis.
No, Rangers are pot 2.
No, Rangers pot 1. It's confirmed to pot 1 now.
100%?
Yeah.
So you're saying...
Zagreb got knocked out.
So it would be like Rangers, Betis, Brighton.
And then, I don't know who's pot 4. Hacken, I know we're pot 4.
But the thing is, realistically, Rangers only need to finish 3rd to stay in Europe.
Yeah.
And if the Rangers drop into Europa Conference League, they have to be aiming to win that.
Yeah.
I know there's some good teams in it, but they must be looking at a long run. If you can't aim to win the Europa Conference League, then what's the point of being in Europe?
My wee Europa Conference League run.
I feel like this Europa Conference League's pretty much been invented to give Celtic Rangers a chance of going far.
Yeah, no excuse. I mean, obviously, Villa are a great team, but a one-off final? There's no reason why the Old Firm couldn't think they could beat Villa, man.
Anyway, we'll find out, guys. Shite night for Scottish football. Feeling dejected here, so gonna leave it there. Not good. We'll catch you in the next one. Scottish transfer roundup show to come. Transfer window tomorrow as well. The draws for the Europa and Europa Conference League. Lots of football content to come over the next few days, and then of course you can't forget Sunday. It's the big one. Or is it Saturday? Sunday. Sunday. It's Rangers Celtic. Is the loser getting sacked?
No, but they probably should.
There you go. Heard it here first. Loser should get sacked. We'll catch you next time out. Till then, though. Peace.